Anita Ivashenko here, team leader with Usborne Books More. I have had the pleasure of being a consultant for just over a year now, and over the last year there have been 10 particular books that have held a special place in my heart for different reasons, and I wanted to share those with you today. The first one is Life Size. Now this is a nonfiction book, and the great thing about it is it's going to open up new conversations and open up a new world to your child regarding animals, and animals that they may never get to see, especially up close. And anywhere you see the word life size on the page, you know you are getting the life size image of that particular aspect of the animal. Like a polar bear, this is the life size of a polar bear, so your child can really understand how big those paws are. There's also some fun opportunities here for funny pictures and memories to make with your child, like putting on a toucan nose. And because of that, I love life size. We also have life size dinosaurs, which is the same concept if you have a dinosaur lover at home. Usborne Listen and Read Storybooks, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now, I love this book because it saved me when I was sick. I could barely talk. I had this really bad cold, and I still got story time in because the book read itself. So this is great for traveling, for having your child just, when you need to keep them busy and they can't read yet, this story will read itself to them. And I love that it is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We also have the Gingerbread Man. These buttons are so easy to push. Babies can do it. They're like a sensor, so it will read the story to them. That is why I love that. Usborne All About Feelings. Now this book is so special to me because feelings are so important to talk about. I don't think people talk about feelings enough with their kids, and that is why these books are so important. We've got lots of great books on feelings, but this one is my favorite because it can be used as a resource for so many different things. It will address facial cues, body cues, how you can know how someone is feeling based on how their face looks or how their body is reacting. It'll also address how if you're feeling a certain way, how you can change that. If you're tired, what can you do to make yourself feel better? This is where you match the way that their face looks to the way that they're feeling. It also talks about body messages and cues. I can't stop yawning. Tara is feeling tired. So there's those body cues. Compares feelings to colors. I love how it also talks about how you can have jumbled up feelings. You can feel more than one feeling at once, and that's okay, and how to deal with that. So really valuable book. Nibbles the Book Monster. Now Nibbles is one of my favorite characters. We also have Nibbles the Dinosaur Guide and Nibbles the Monster Hunt, but this one will forever be my favorite. It is the introduction to Nibbles, the very first one, and he always, at the beginning, always gets out of his cage and we chase him through the story. Now, he loves to eat books, and in this one he gets into classic fairy tales. I love these holes in the pages that's on every page, just about every page where he gets through. And there's a book, they're books within books. So in this one he gets into Goldilocks and the Three Bears, makes Goldilocks angry, messes up the story, makes everyone angry, and then moves on to the next story. So this is a beautifully illustrated book. It's funny and fun, and I promise your child will want you to read it over and over and over again, so be prepared for that. Usborne Look Inside, What Happens When You Eat. So I love this because not only are you going to learn about, what happens to food from the moment we put it in our mouth till, it comes out basically. So you're learning about anatomy, and there's lots of flaps. Flaps are great for memory recall, so your child is going to be remembering these things in daily life because of the engagement of flaps and also the short facts in them. But it also talks about sugar and why sugar, what sugar is in, how it can be unhealthy, how much sugar we should be eating every day, added sugar, and just gives you an idea of how much sugar is in various things. It also talks about nutrition, such as vitamins and minerals, what kinds of vitamins are in what they're used for, things like that. Now Cordelia is a very special story to me. It's a great message about being who you are, even if people don't accept you. You love you, and that's what's going to make you happy. And this little girl named Cordelia loves to fly. It brings her so much joy, but then one day she lets the words and thoughts of other people get to her, and she stops flying and becomes like everybody else and becomes absolutely miserable. Till one day, see, she's just becoming like everyone else, and she's turning gray. till one day she realizes, you know what, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks, I'm gonna do what I want to do because it's what I love. And my favorite line is at the very end. She knew who she was and knew who she could be, and this belief in herself set Cordelia free. Just because another can't see this world like you doesn't make things impossible or mean that they're not true. I love that story. Beast Feast. This is a brand new one. I love it because it's about an unexpected friendship and how kindness can really turn things around, even if they're not looking good for you. So this monster goes out, well, a beast goes out looking for dinner, finds this little boy and decides, I'm going to serve this guy to all of my beast friends, and invites all his beast friends to a party, to a beast feast. To which they all respond. There's letters in here. They're all funny, but they all respond with specific dietary requirements, which in the end ends up making it quite difficult for him to please everyone. But as he's going on trying to meet these expectations, like fattening up dinner for this guy, dinner's always got a better plan to achieve the goal. And so in the end, he's helping Beast with all of these requests. And they end up becoming friends, and Beast realizes he really doesn't want to eat dinner after all, and Dinner realizes that the Beast really isn't so scary anymore, and in the end they find a way to make everyone happy. A Tale of Two Beasts. So this is a great story in how different perspectives can result from the same situation, how sometimes things happen and we might all feel differently about it. And so this story tells, there's two different parts told from the perspective of the little girl and of this little raccoon guy. And it's pretty funny because the perspectives are completely different. And in the end, they end up coming together, even though they were not really, she really didn't understand why he was so ungrateful for how she took care of him. And he was really not happy that she captured him and the way she treated him, and in the end they came together and realized that they can be friends after all. So Boy is another great story about how a simple misunderstanding can make a big commotion. This little boy is deaf, he can't speak, he uses sign language. In this story they describe it as dancing hands, which I think is so beautiful. And in this story the dragon and the kingdom are always fighting, and it's been that way for as long as everyone can remember, till one day the boy says, he writes in the sand, why are you fighting? And then the dragon and the king goes back and forth, well you did this, well you did this, and it turns out to be a complete misunderstanding. And so he solved the whole situation without a single word, and in the very end, it's so beautiful, all of the villagers and the kings thank him, and they say, thank you, they say, with dancing hands. I love how that ends. Such a great story. And last but not least, this story is my absolute favorite. It is so simple, but it's so special to me. It is Jonathan James and the What If Monster. Now, this is a story about this what if monster. We all have the what if monster on our shoulder. What if this happens? What if that happens? And it cheats us out of some really great opportunities because it instills that fear and anxiety. And so Jonathan James is this little boy who has this what if monster who's following him all around and basically making him worry about things that may never happen, until eventually Jonathan James gets sick of it and he says, now wait just a minute, I have something to say. After hearing what ifs all through the day, I hear all your worries, I hear all your claims, but what if you're wrong? Asked Jonathan James. And then he turns all those situations around that the what if monster turned negative, and he said, what if this happens? What if it, and they're all good things. And so in the end, he realizes he can have power over those thoughts and conquer them and have a positive outcome. Thanks for watching.